ClassX Radio jumping into some of the classic rock news headlines today. Now let's see what's going on. The new documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin, did blockbuster business in its first week in release. The movie opened exclusively in IMAX theaters, and it set a record here in the United States. It brought in $2.6 million, which is the biggest opening weekend ever for an IMAX exclusive music release. Film also landed in the top 10 on the weekend box office overall. The film brought in $3 million from showings in 16 countries and territories. And Becoming Led Zeppelin opens in theaters nationwide this week on Friday. The Doobies are back, and they are set to drop their brand new album, Walk This Road. It's got Tom Johnston and Michael McDonald performing in the band now. And that album drops in June. They're hitting the road to support the project. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famers just announced dates for the Walk This Road tour featuring special guests, the Coral Reefer Band that used to play with Jimmy Buffett. That tour kicking off August the 4th in Detroit. Dates currently confirmed through September 18th in Toronto. More shows expected to be announced. And the album, well, it drops June the 6th. And they've got a couple singles out on that album right now. Mick Box from Uriah Heep is explaining why the band will no longer tour for long periods of time, saying, I'd say it was part of the fact that we're not getting any younger, but the other big part was that it's becoming impossible to put these tours together now, the long tours that we used to do, especially over in Europe with Brexit and after COVID and things like that. It got really, really hard because previously we could travel freely through Europe, but now we can't because of Brexit. It goes on to say, with the advent of the world as it is today, bus prices have tripled, truck prices have tripled, and pretty much everything is tripled, he said. So it's kind of come to a head. Mick goes on to say that Uriah Heep will never stop playing shows, though. We'll always play festivals, we'll always do things like that, because it's in our blood to keep playing. But this is a total wind down over 2, maybe 3 years, he said. Times are changing, right? Alice Cooper has added more shows to his spring and summer 2025 U.S. leg of his Too Close for Comfort tour. Presale tickets, VIP packages available with the code SICKTHINGS. Tickets on sale Friday. More information at alicecooper.com/tour. It's bad news. Let me start that over again. Bad news for David Johansen, the legendary co-founder of the New York Dolls. He's been living with stage 4 cancer and a brain tumor. Diagnosed in 2020, Johansen, well, he made the decision to keep his illness private, but due to the severe financial burden, he's ready to share. In November 2024, he fell and he broke his back in 2 different places, which required surgery. And despite a successful procedure, he's bedridden and incapacitated. And for the best chance of recovery, he requires round-the-clock care. Assisting in the Johansen family recover efforts, Sweet Relief launched the David Johansen Fund. The most immediate needs are full-time nursing, physical therapy, and funding for day-to-day vital living expenses. With professional specialized care, the Johansen family remaining hopeful that David can regain some mobility and independence. Sweet Relief is also offering a special Johansson t-shirt, with all proceeds going to his treatment and hopefully recovery. Motley Crue singer Vince Neil was not on board his jet when it was involved in a deadly collision with another plane in Arizona. One person has died, 4 others were injured after a plane hit another on the ground near Scottsdale Airport in Arizona on Monday, February the 10th. The crash off the runway was reported at 2:39 p.m. and first responders found one person dead when they arrived. 4 others were injured, including 2 taken to medical facilities in critical condition, another whose treatment was delayed but whose condition was not given, and a 4th who refused treatment at the scene. What's with all these airplanes here lately? Man. Ozzy Osbourne lands on Billboard's mainstream rock airplay chart with a yet-to-be-released song. It's called Gods of Rock and Roll, and it debuts this week on mainstream rock airplay, that chart. The tune enters Billboard's list of the most successful tracks across the harder radio format. Entering at number 26, the single credited to Billy Morrison and Osbourne as lead artists, while Steve Stevens is named as a featured act as well. The 3 have worked together before, but even found success on the Billboard rankings. But this latest win is different from their past releases. Gods of Rock and Roll may become a radio hit this week, but fans can't buy it or stream it just yet. The collaborative affair isn't set to arrive on download storefronts and streaming platforms until February the 14th this month. The programmers and DJs have picked it up in advance of the street date, and their early adoption of the cut may lead it to becoming both a sales and streaming win when it's finally available. You can find out more about it at Forbes.com. Don't forget, you can find these classic rock news updates now on TikTok, YouTube, the ClassX Radio Facebook page, as well as X, Gab, and Truth Social. We just ask you to be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow as you find the posts. And right now, you can discover classic rock deep tracks, B-sides, all the good stuff at ClassXRadio.com. We're on TuneIn and on our own mobile apps on your app store. ClassX Radio is rock and roll for Gen Xers and Boomers.